Okay, hello. Sorry I am 2 minutes late. I accidentally forgot that Barney was logged into my account last week when he did his live stream. Now we are scheduled for 4 o'clock today Central Standard Time to answer your questions. As a reminder, make sure you are constantly reviewing the events section here in the tribe so that you can ask questions of all the mentors. As a reminder, all of the mentors have built $1 million companies or more. So they all understand how to build a company. However, most of us have areas of expertise. Mine is in sales, general business, and in leadership. And that's more of that stuff's coming when the new website comes out. So here we go. I've got 8 questions from you guys. As you know, when I'm doing a live stream, I'm not going to look at your comments. I do appreciate those of you coming in and saying hello and hi, welcome, welcome. But I'm going to stay focused because the people that got in here and asked questions before get their questions answered. So make sure you keep checking the event section and getting your questions to me and the other mentors and start picking our brain and using our information to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. Most won't, I will, baby. Okay, so the first question comes to us from Miss Cherish Little. And Cherish, I hope everything is going okay for you and your family. Sorry to hear everything that's been going on. Your love and our love and prayers are with you. Cherish says, what's the best way to find and approach influencers who have interest in promoting our brand? We are trying to put together packages to send to some great influencers who can overall love our leggings and grow the audience, and average appropriate cost according to their following. I see huge fluctuations here. Okay, I think that's the whole question. I think. Let me make sure. Yes, I think that's the whole question. Cherish wants to know how to find influencers. I was just talking to one of my friends last night, and this is one of the things that she actually does for a living for brands and for companies, is going out and building relationships with entrepreneurs as influencers on social media. And one of the things that she was telling me that she does is she not only goes out and looks for people right now, she goes out and she builds a longer-term relationship with those people so that if and when she does approach them to be an influencer, there's already a relationship built. If you listen to Tom Black when it comes to sales, the number one first step in the sales process is building and establishing rapport. By building and establishing that rapport with those influencers ahead of time, when you go to ask them to be an influencer for you, you're already going to have a relationship established, and you might get better rates, and they might make you a priority. Now, as part of the process, I'm not an influencer expert on going out and finding influencers. My only guess is the times that I have tried to find influencers to promote my Instagram account, I went out there and I just searched for certain hashtags, and then I reviewed the different accounts that came up, and based on my experience of understanding what real engagement looks like, which is I'll go into the person's account, I'll see if their bio is good, I'll see if their account is good, I'll see how it looks, I'll take a look at their engagement, but I won't just look at the likes and comment number. I'll actually dive into who is liking their page to see if it's a certain type of demographic. Then I'll go into the comments section and I'll see if it says 40 comments, but 30 of them are themselves responding to people, then I know that there's really only 10 comments and that number is skewed. So I go in and I look at the type of comments. Then if I find somebody that is, I think would fit the demographic of the type of influencer that I want, I will already have, per Barney and Tom, sales scripts already typed up that are extremely professional and introduce myself and what the offer is. and I would follow those scripts. I would already have a website built up of exactly how much we would pay, what our influencer program offers, what their obligations are, and what they get out of it. And I'd have the whole influencer system already created. There are people like the friend that I know that does this for a living, and you can hire them for $1,000 to $1,500, and they'll go out and do that process for you. And sometimes, just like using a recruiter like Paul to find you talent for your company, it would save you time and you would get higher quality of people by using an expert. I hope that answers your question, Miss Cherish, and welcome to everybody. All right, the next question comes from Miss Ashley Abed. Ashley, it was great seeing you at the conference. Ashley says, I made it. Hey, Shawn, I've been working to get my social media up and running. I made a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Awesome. However, I have no idea how to properly use them or even create them for a business. I know you have social media in the resource center of how to gain followers. Should I hire someone to make a professional page for each, or is this something that I can do some more research on and give it a go? Since I have got back from Business Con, I have, and sorry, Ashley, I didn't expand the rest of your comment, but let me answer your question, okay? The first thing in building your social media accounts is to first understand what your brand represents. If you are your personal brand, then you would want to go into the Tribe Resource Center and read all the information on personal branding. If this is a company account, then your company should go through its branding exercise, because it's like building a house. You don't start building the upstairs bedroom unless you already have the downstairs of the house built, right? So it's the same thing. The branding is the first thing we should do before we get started on social media. Now, we can go register the account names, and that's fine. But before you get out there and start building your social media following, you want your branding done. And that would include a branding style guide. Your logos, your color scheme and palette, your font package, and your messaging, your voice, if you will. And you want all of that done before you go start trying to build your social media following. To give you an example on pricing, it would cost you, and I can introduce you to the person that does mine. She's a member of the tribe. It would cost you about $500 to get a brand style guide done if you already have a logo. If you want to add a logo, it would be about another $300 to $400. All right? But that's how much it costs to get a very professional brand style guide done for yourself or your company. Now, to answer your question, do you want to do it yourself, or do you want to hire someone to do it? Now, when you set up your Instagram accounts, I have an Instagram audit call that you can do with me for $99, and I'll walk you through how to create the perfect Instagram bio. We actually went through this in the Authority Expert Masterclass. If you had taken that masterclass, of which you can get the replays for $97 from Peter, just send Peter a message. In that masterclass, I went through an entire hour just on creating your Instagram and how to really do Instagram correctly as an authority expert. Now, you can try to do that stuff on your own. You would need your branding done first, and then you could go do your research in the Tribe Resource Center of social media, and it would help you do all those things. There's a lot of different documents that I've loaded in the Tribe Resource Center that help with understanding how to build your Instagram and other social media. All right? I hope that answers your question. Now, the last thing you said is, how do you get more followers? So I would get done with step A and B. Once you get done with step B, then why don't you hit me up with another question on how to gain followers. All right? Now, on that note, Ashley, and anybody else watching, if you're looking to grow your Instagram and you want to learn how to actually use it for business, I'm actually doing a 3-month coaching program, personal coaching program that includes an 8-week online training. Several people in the mentorship group are already signed up. I've got 2 or 3 slots left over. It's $1,188 if you want the coaching. It's only $600 or something, $688 if you just want to attend the online classes. Hit me up by a direct message if anybody wants those last 2 or 3 slots. I will, and I'm committed, 100% committed to making sure that somebody gets a sale using my system before the training is over. But in order to get in my training, you have to already have a product or service that can be sold on Instagram. And I'm going to help you set up everything so that you can get customers from Instagram. All right, enough selling. All right, Christine has a question. Hey, Shawn, thank you for inviting me. You're welcome. I might only be able to catch the replay, but I have a general business question. I have seen that someone asked for contacts to petfluencers at a startup meeting in my area. It looks like petfluencer has become a profession/business case. Some cats, dogs, etc. have thousands of followers. What do you think? What does it take to become a petfluencer? Gosh, you know, Christine, I have no clue. I've never heard that term. But I believe it would go along the same lines of anybody who would be an influencer. That would be somebody who is considered an authority expert on a particular topic or subject or industry or something. Somebody that has a very engaged audience, that audience looks to them as an authority, and when that authority influencer makes recommendations for products or services, the audience listens and transacts into sales. Same thing with an influencer. So that's what I would believe you would need to do if you wanted to set up your pet as a petfluencer, is you would start positioning your pet as a brand and creating an Instagram account, growing it, and then engaging with the audience just like any influencer would do, and start promoting products and services, maybe on an affiliate page, like an Amazon page, and seeing how sales go. And then once you see that your audience is engaging and buying, then you could reach out to companies for product and placement and things like that. So that would be my recommendation. All right, I hope that answers your question. Leave a comment if there was more information you need. Same with you, Ashley. All right, Leon Van Eek, who is a 3-month member here because he was in a master class. Welcome, welcome. My question for this session is this. I'm interested in finding myself a mentor who lives where I live, so I can talk to them on a regular basis. A very good friend of mine has parents who are entrepreneurs and have some really big companies. What questions should I ask myself? What questions should I ask myself if I want to know if they are the right mentors for me? All right, so once again, I got to pull this because I don't have the more in here. So let me open up, because there was more that you wrote, and I want to make sure I get the rest of that, Leon. Give me 1 second here. Leon. What question should I ask myself if I want to know if they are the right mentors for me, or that I should look further? Okay, so I believe that in the Mentorship Tribe Resource Center, there is a section called Mentorship, and I put this massive guide on finding the right mentor and what the obligations of the mentee are and the mentor. Go into that Tribe Resource Center and see if that is there. If it's not, come back here and leave a comment and say, Shawn, it wasn't there, and I will repost it. And I will make sure I get it into the Tribe Resource Center. You could also just simply Google obligations of a mentor, obligations of a mentee. There are certain obligations that we have on each side of the equation. Now, here's another thing. If you look at just the schedule of events this week, there are 6 different events with people like myself in here answering questions. So you can come in and ask all of us questions, and the more we get to know you, the more we can proactively think about helping you by sending you direct messages and posting things and tagging you on things that we know will benefit you. The more you get involved in this mentorship group and the more we know about you, the more we can help you proactively. And that's really important. All right? Hope that helps. If you need more information, just leave a comment. All right, Caleb, what's up, brother? Is there a formula for pricing your services? How do you find the right price for your services? Some of my customers pay 5 times less than others for essentially the same service. Obviously, I don't like those customers. Haha. Well, Caleb, I got to tell you, man, I'm not a pricing expert. I would speak with Ari, who is a CPA. I would talk with your CPA if you have one. I would talk with Barney and maybe schedule a call with him because he might be a good person. Any other mentor watching this that might have experience on pricing products, feel free to chime in. I initially, when I did my company, I relied on my experience in the industry based on what competitors charged. And initially, I didn't have any competitors, so I just thought, how much can I charge and I'll make money and I feel comfortable with it. And then over the long term, I adjusted pricing according to more applicable margin rates based on our profit and loss statements. General rule of thumb is depending on the industry, you want to reach a certain gross profit margin on each of the products and services that you sell. And unfortunately, man, I'm not the guru with that. I would talk to your CPA that can look up industry things. But I believe that I did put in the Tribe Resource Center some articles, and I don't know what section they would be in. It might be accounting, check-in accounting, and I did find some articles that talked about how to price a product. But I remember specifically searching for articles in that realm, and I put them in the Tribe Resource Center. So see if you can find them, and if you can't, let me know, and I'll find them, and I'll post them for you, okay? I hope that answers your question. Let's see here. Judy Raber, how's it going, girl? Thoughts on using your own name for a business versus one that doesn't include your name. Also, advice on sole proprietorship versus LLC in e-commerce when there's only one person. I did Google it, and there are pros and cons to both. I don't think I can make it live as my kid's day of school, blah, 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 blah. All right. Okay, so the first question is thoughts on using your name for a business versus one that doesn't include your name. Well, it really depends on the business. If it's an e-commerce business, you have to decide whether or not you want to be the brand or you want to come up with a company name. It's that simple. Are you going to call it Judy Online? And if so, then you can just call it Judy Online. But if you're going to come up with a company name, which generally speaking is the more applicable approach to e-commerce, you come up with a company name. Personally, I prefer using a company name. And one of the reasons I prefer using a company name is someday it makes it easier to sell that business because my name is not attached to it. I can sell AskAMillionaire someday if I wanted to because it's not only Shawn Thomas. It's a company. If it is Shawn Thomas Mentorship, when I go to sell that company, that person has to be worried about the branding and the recognition of the name Shawn Thomas. And that's why I prefer using a company name. Now, as it relates to using an LLC or a sole proprietorship, I think the real question there is whether or not whether you would use a sole proprietorship or an LLC. You never, ever, ever want to use a sole proprietorship unless it's just a little hobby, arts and crafts business maybe. Always use an LLC or a corporation. I would get with an attorney and I would determine what legal entity would be best for you. It's based on the number of shareholders and the type of shareholders as to whether you would choose an LLC, a single member LLC, or a corporation. Now, it also, you would want to get with your tax person to determine from a tax perspective, based on the amount of revenues and profits that you expect to see in your first, second, third, fourth, fifth year, as to what type of entity you might want to be from a tax perspective as well. And Ari here in the group can probably help you with that. All right? Okay. Hope that answers your question. If you want to know any more, just let me know. Okay, Andrea Rep, what's going on, girl? I'm absolutely grateful for all of the opportunities that I've had with business lately, but my sewing business is not getting the attention it needs. It always gets pushed to the back burner, and I'm starting to come to terms with the fact that it might not be a bad thing. It's the least profitable and takes the most time. I don't want it to go away completely, but am now concerned that the integrity of the brand may be suffering because I'm not producing as regularly. What are your thoughts on moving forward, taking a break or scrapping it as a business and treating it like a hobby? You know, Andrea, I think that's just a very personal decision that you need to make on your own. I'll tell you this, though. I would actually like to see you asking more questions about the businesses that you're trying to grow. You're one of those lifetime members that I'd really like to see you participating more and asking for help from all the new mentors on how to grow your current companies that you are focusing on, okay? Love you, girl. Now, as far as your sewing business, you know, it's a personal decision. I know it's something that you love, but I also know that you like to stay productive and efficient. I think it's something that you sit down and you review your goals and determine whether or not the sewing business is contributing positively to one of the areas of your life in which you need to feel successful in order to feel successful. So remember, your sewing business might be something that is not going to contribute towards your monetary / business career part of your goals, but it might contribute to your lifestyle, to your physical fitness, to your emotional well-being, because it's something that you enjoy. Not all of the success in our life is not only going to be derived by the bottom line, right? I would review the goals that you have set for yourself in all the areas of your life and determine if having that sewing business is contributing positively. And if it's not, then you might want to make a decision to focus that time and attention elsewhere and go from there. All right? I hope that answers your question. Feel free to leave an additional comment if you need more information on that answer. But I hope that helps. J-Love, what's up, my brother? So great seeing you and Mandy here at the business conference. Those of you that didn't make the business conference, you missed out, and you're going to pay triple next year, but it'll still be worth it. All right, J-Love. Hey, Shawn. Based on the article you posted earlier, it seems you have done PR for Uniguest yourself initially and then handed off eventually to a Uniguest employee. Do you think it's best to hire a PR firm, hire an employee with PR experience, or personally learn and then teach someone on the team? I have a strong background in sales and marketing of professional writers on staff. However, no one currently on my team has PR experience. Jay, I'll tell you what, man. In my industry, I knew of the PR outlets that most of the vendors and hotel general managers watched. So I would do a press release ourselves in-house. Then I would just take it straight to those companies and pay them to post it. If I were going to do press today for a company, I would hire a PR person to handle that for me. Now, you can set it up to where they're on retainer if you're going to be doing lots of PR, and they're going to go out and get you speaking gigs. They're going to get you in magazines. They're going to get you on podcasts. They're going to get you on TV shows. The more elaborate of the PR need that you have, the more expensive it's going to get on a monthly basis. If you're just going to send out press releases, you could do that in-house and do those through PR Wire, Business Wire, and those types of companies, and tell them what industries you want to do. And so you could do those yourself. Or you could send those out to the local newspapers and magazines in your local area if you're in a local business. It really depends on the type of business that you have and the type of attention that you're looking to garner within the press releases that you send out. Hope that answers your question. Feel free to leave a comment if you would like more information. All right, the next question is from, I can't see who this is because it cut off. Give me 1 second. This is from Jason Wolbert. What's up, Jason? Good to see you, my brother. All right, so Jason says, I've always been somewhat on my own, never had a business partner. I'm building a new company, a special event cruise company, and we're putting together coaches and speakers together with companies and associations to provide a motivational cruise experience. I know you're not a huge fan of that scumbag Grant Cardone. I added the scumbag part. And I hate to use this as an example, but my ultimate goal is to have something similar to the 10X, 10X sucks, but on a ship. Go for 50X, dude. Fuck the 10X. I am set up with Carnival and Royal Caribbean to book cruises. I am building a ClickFunnels to get leads, but also plan on cold calling. I have a cruise set for October to get a lot of pictures and content for the website. I have 4 coaches, speakers companies can choose from, and we'll be adding more. I'm wondering if I need to bring on a partner to help with the things that I suck at. Okay, so this is a good thing, Jason. I think that, Jason, the vibe that I get from you is that you're a major control freak, just like me. I'm a major control freak. Everybody raise your hand if you're a major control freak and you're the only person that can get shit done. We all think that way. So here's the thing to look at, Jason, is do you need a partner, or can you just hire a contract event organizer and planner to help you on those things? A partner is going to be an equity holder position in your profits and your revenues, right? Maybe you just hire somebody to do the things that you're not great at. Just because you need more talent in your organization doesn't mean you have to turn to a partner. That can just be an employee or a contract freelancer. I would exhaust all different areas to determine which one would have the most benefit at the best value and price, run the pros and cons of each, and then go from there. Now, I do know that you have another company as well, and I know that you're spreading yourself thin by going in different directions, and I've seen your posts, and I know everything that's going on. What I would say is this. Every company, in my opinion, now this is just an opinion, and they talk about this on CNBC a lot with companies like Jack Dorsey, who runs Twitter and Stripe, I think it is, or Twitter and whatever other companies. And then they also talk about Elon Musk, and they talk about these big powerhouse CEOs that are the CEOs of several companies, and they're saying each company should have its own CEO. Now, if it's not big enough to garner the attention of CEO, you maybe just make it a general manager of the business, and they run the business, and then you run them. You manage them. You lead them. I believe strongly in that principle, that people should be responsible for one company only, and then if they are an owner and they want to hire a manager or a CEO, they can do that as well. If you would have been at Business Conference this year, hint, hint, you would have heard from Tony directly, who has a $10 million business, and he's not even the CEO. He hired a CEO that runs the day-to-day operations of the company, and the company's still growing, and Tony still has a pertinent role within the business. So I hope that answers your question. If you have any more need from me on that, you can book a call with me. Tribe rate is $200, or just feel free to leave a comment, and maybe I can get some more information for you. But I hope that helps out. All right, next question is from Fabian. What's up, Fabian? Another lifetime member that I would love to start seeing use the mentors more, earn a lot more money so that they can get the master classes, hire the coaches, and come to BusinessCon. Morning routines. What are your daily rituals, or what routines did you establish early on that you felt were necessary or even foundational to your success? Do you have structure to the time you wake up and go to sleep? I'm basically fishing for any repetitive patterns that you've done. Consistency. All right, so here's the thing, man. I've done a lot of conversation when it comes to daily routines. And if you actually search here in the mentorship group, search daily routine, I put up what I thought was the most amazing article that came up with daily routines. And what it said is exactly what I'm going to tell you. You got to figure out your own shit, because you are a completely different person than me, just as I'm completely different than everybody else in this room. And we have to just continually try new things to determine what things work best for us. Now, my daily routine today is completely different than it was when I was building my first company and growing my first company. I woke up as soon as my eyeballs woke up. I have not used an alarm clock in 20 years. The only time I use an alarm clock is if I have an early morning flight. I just naturally wake up at 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. And when I had my company, I just woke up because I was so fucking excited, and I knew there was so much shit that had to get done. I woke up, I took a piss, I made an egg sandwich, or I just got dressed, took a shower, and got in my car and headed to the office. Got to the office, I would make coffee, or my assistant would be there at 7 o'clock, and I would send her across the street to Hardee's, and she would get me coffee and shitty breakfast sandwich, and that's why I gained so much weight. But I just got my day started, and I took a look at the tasks that needed to be done that day. I got with my team. We had daily huddles, and we got shit done. There wasn't really a rhyme or a reason to it. I worked. I was the last one to close the building. I got home. I was tired. I'd stop and get fast food, or I'd order pizza. I would eat like shit, and then I'd go to sleep. That was my day. And I did that for years and years. As I grew my company, I started changing my daily habits to accommodate the new income streams that I had, to where I could take a little more time off and vacation and enjoy life. But I didn't start getting into the daily routine thing until after I made millions and had time to pay attention to it. My daily routine back in the day was waking up as early as possible, getting to the office, getting as much shit as I could done, selling as much shit as I could, and then going home and sleeping as much as I could, which wasn't a lot. And that was my daily routine. And I think that's very common among high growth companies like mine. Now, you're a little bit different because you have 10 fucking kids. So you probably aren't going to be able to dedicate. If you guys don't know Fabian, because he doesn't talk in the group at all, he's one of those fucking lifetime members that never says or does anything. Hint, hint. All right? Fabian has 10 fucking kids. And he's an entrepreneur. And he's a musician. This guy is an animal. This guy is a fucking beast. So, Fabian, you're going to have to learn a completely different daily routine than I ever could have, because I will never have 10 kids. God willing. I will never have 10 kids. All right. Anyways, I hope that answers your question, Fabian. But Google that article, daily routine, and read that article. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll find it. But it's in the resource center. I would have put it under, because I'm an organizational freak, I would have put it under personal development or time management or both. All right? All right, I hope that answers your question. Let me know if you need more information. All right, Robin, you and I have already talked. I've already given you personal guidance on direct message, so I'm not going to answer your question. We love you. I know you're going through a lot. Go out there, work those jobs, save that money, pay off that debt, and then when you're ready to start getting that business started again, come back in here and get started. Gabor, what's up, brother? Says, hey, Shawn, could you talk a minute about making the most of the present moment in the entrepreneurial journey? After we talked yesterday, I realized I was beating myself up over not being at my long-term goals yet. How do you change your focus to look at how far you've come and trusting that you're making the right moves toward the life you want to give? You know, man, I talk about this all the time. And if you would have come to BusinessCon, you would have heard me talk about this quite a bit. It's called goal setting. How do you know how far you've come if you haven't written it down? You can't manage what you're not measuring. And you can't measure what you're not managing. However the quote goes. This is why, and I know you've heard me talk about this, I don't know why you've ignored me and been disrespectful by not taking my advice and starting to fucking write down your damn goals. Duh, as Tom would say. If you write out 12-month goals, you reverse engineer it, break it down into quarters, then months, and then weeks, and then set out activities that you need to accomplish those monthly goals, then you can go back and review them and say, how am I doing? And when you're 3 months in and you've achieved all the goals that you set forth for yourself in 3 months, you can go, great fucking job, Gabe. I did a great job. But unless you know what you've done, how do you measure it? How can you pat yourself on the back? Now, luckily for you, I developed a software that will help you do this. And as soon as I get a little bit of time, I will get the information needed to start getting the BusinessCon users are going to get to be the beta test users. Another reason you want to make sure and come to the conferences, because they're going to get to use it before anybody else. Otherwise, you can go out there and just find some goal-setting software and use before I release mine. I just don't have enough time in the day to dedicate to it yet, but I'm working on it. That's one of my goals. All right? So I hope that answers your question. Gabe, listen, for those of you that don't know, Gabe's 23 years old, and he's wondering why he's only in business a couple years, and he doesn't already have 5,000 employees doing $50 billion in revenue. Duh, it takes time. He's thinking like a 23-year-old for instant gratification, instant satisfaction, and because he's not where he wants to be in 10 years, he's trying to live the life of a 30-year-old, and he's only 23 years old. You can't live like a 23-year-old or 30-year-old until you're 30 years old. So be patient, celebrate those successes, and measure your goals. And that's how you can win and know how far you've come. Hope that helps, Gabe. Just let me know if you need any more information. All right, Kira. Man, how long have I been on here? All right, Kira. I'm in a remote area, but I'll join if I can. All right, especially since I have a couple new ideas. Kira says, I'm not stuck or fixed on any one idea or business. Kira K's lotions and potions is her passion, but some doors are opening to other things. I could care less what takes off first and what funds what. But may I ask, did you think the financial freedom chase can be a distraction from your passion? I don't. I want money to support myself and my passion, and I don't care how it's coming in. But some say I'm the way I see it, I don't know. But some say whatever. The way I see it is I just want more cash coming in. Okay, so I think what Kira's trying to say very poorly is this, which is why effective communication is so important, my people. All right? What Kira's trying to say is, I'm trying to follow the dream, and it's not bringing in the green. Should I follow the green and not the dream? That's what she's asking. And I talked about this at BusinessCon. I believe, because this is the way that I did it, and it was out of necessity, I followed the green. If you had asked me in my 20s if I was going to become financially independent by selling computer systems to hotels, I would have been like, no fucking chance. There's no way. But when you're open to opportunities, here's what I say. And this is what I mentor Tony on. And Tony has battled me and battled me and battled me, and he's finally coming around. Pick the lowest hanging fruit first. Life is easier when you have more choices due to the amount of money that you possess. Whatever is the lowest hanging fruit, go after it and make the most amount of money in that lowest hanging fruit in the shortest amount of time, right? If there's an apple tree and you're going to pick an apple and there's one right there that you can reach up and grab, do you go back and grab a ladder and climb the fucking top to the top of the tree to grab another apple just because it's over there, and even though it's the same ripeness as the one right in front of you? No. You just reach up and you grab the apple and you wash it off and you start eating it, right? Same thing with business. Go after the low-hanging fruit first. Then once you make a lot of money, you can go follow your passion and your dream, right? Now, if you're lucky enough or fortunate enough to be in a position that your lowest hanging fruit resides in your passion, that's fucking amazing. And that's great. It doesn't always add up that way for everybody. And now here's something that's really going to knock the hair off your chest. But you're a girl, so you probably don't have much hair on your chest. Sometimes people can make more money in a job than they would in their own business. I mean that sincerely. There are some people that lose money every year in their business, and they would make more money if they just went and got a job or 2 jobs. Business ownership does not always equate to profit. Anybody in this room that can understand that, maybe you might say, Shawn's right. Sometimes business doesn't make money. It's true. So you really have to weigh out those goals, and that's why I always preach it's really important to make sure that you have income coming in while you're building your business until your business gets to a point where you know that by dedicating more resources, you can scale that business, all right? Something to think about. Things that make you go, as Arsenio Hall would say back in the day, showing my age there. All right. Jiminy Christmas. You know what? I don't know if I'm going to get to all the questions. This is supposed to be a 30-minute session. You guys are killing me here. Killing me. Luckily, I love y'all. All right. Abel has a question. Abel says, I hope all is well with you. I have class during the day, so I might not make it. Did you have a certain amount of hours for business, health, self-care, and personal matters, or did you just wing it? Abel, I think I just answered your question when I was answering Fabian's question about time management and daily routine. If you need more information than what I said to Fabian, feel free to let me know. But I was winging it, and I just did what I needed to do to achieve the goals and business that I had. I let my body sacrifice a little bit, right? I didn't have as many friendships. I wasn't going out a lot. I didn't date as much. So yes, I had priorities. I don't see them as sacrifices. I don't see that I sacrificed my body. I didn't see that I sacrificed friendships. I didn't see that I sacrificed love life. My priority was going after my goals, and so I'm happy about that, and I don't regret it. All right, Javon has a question. Hey, Shawn, a few questions that you may have answered before, but how do you spend most of your time during the day, and how do you stay focused and avoid distractions? I tell you, I believe in a good old-fashioned pad of paper, and a pencil. Ask Jamie, my assistant. I love pads of paper and pencil, and whenever I get to my activities, I love just writing it down and saying, this is everything I need to get done today, and then I get started on that list. And then Jamie keeps that list for me as an assistant now, and I always go to her and say, what's on the list? What do we still have to do? How can I help you prioritize? And her role is to just get through that list as much as possible and get back to me when there's things that she needs to get back to me on. I believe that being organized is really important in order to be productive and efficient. There's lots of different ways to be organized. There are applications that I have no idea exist, but I'm sure they do. Tony always says there's an app for that. I'm sure that there is a time management app that you can use to stay focused, to make sure that you are establishing the activities that you need to stay focused and not get distracted. Now listen, it's part of life to get distracted in business, because somebody might call out of the blue and say, hey, I need to order something. What are you going to do? Say, no, that's going to distract me right now. I'll get back to you next week when I'm less distracted. Fuck no, you're going to take the sales call, right? Those aren't distractions. Those are just things that happen. You could see it as a distraction, but what you want to do is do this. If you get distracted by something, pay attention to it, get it done, and then get right back to your list of activities of things that you need to get done, and just knock out the list. I used to be the type of person that until my list was done, I didn't stop. And if for some reason I had to carry it over to the next morning, I got that stuff done first because I made it a priority. There's all kinds of things that you can do for red, yellow, green, orange, different quadrants of tasks. And there's all kinds. Just search on Google for managing tasks, maybe applications or books and things like that, and just do some self-discovery and see what works best for you. I am definitely not a detail-oriented task management, project management type of person. I am high vision, high-level thinking. So I just use a good old-fashioned pad of paper and a pencil, and then I hire people to do the organization and the project management. All right. Hope that answered your question, Javon. Welcome to the tribe, my brother. Keep asking questions of all the mentors in the group. You could ask that same question, Javon, to every other mentor and get a different answer. And that's the cool thing about being involved in the mentorship group here, is there's 12 different mentors and you can get 12 different answers to the same question. It's so hilarious. We saw it at BusinessCon all day long. And there's no wrong or right information. You're just information gathering, and then you're the person that has to take that information and turn it into helping you make the best decision for yourself. Because we're not here to tell you what to do. We're just here to give you experience sharing and let you make the best decisions in your life. All right? All right, Heather Harvey. Heather, I don't have any idea how you have time to even ask any more questions. You have so much shit that you've got to get done from business conference. How will you even have time to think about new stuff? I'm just saying. All right, but I'll answer your question because I love you. I'm getting to a point where every day I have meetings, calls, etc., stuff outside of the physical part of working. How do you keep yourself organized besides a personal assistant? Do you have any apps? I think I just answered that. So, hey, I hope I just answered your question, Heather. Heather, for your business, I want to get you using an administrative assistant as soon as possible, and I want you handing stuff off to that person and handing stuff off to your team as much as possible. I think once you get used to doing that and delegating and then determining what real stuff you need to keep control of, that's going to help you in a lot of your business. I really do. Like, you probably have enough that you can hand off the accounting to one person, like Ari or whoever else you use. You could hand off the office manager position that does all the ordering of supplies, inventory, all that stuff. You have all kinds of room for delegation. I mean, I almost feel like flying to Houston at some point and just shadowing you for a few days and saying, why do you have to do that? Who could do that? That would just probably benefit your business tremendously. But I just say the answers that I gave Fabian and Javon, let me know if you need any more information after that. All right. Nick. What's up, Nick? Nick says, do you find it easier to mentor a newer business owner with less experience or someone like myself who is already established and has a profitable business? Lastly, what are some of the qualities you look for in mentees that get you excited? All right, so listen, I don't find it easier to mentor new mentors versus people that have established business. I find it easier to mentor people that say, if Shawn or one of the mentors says that this is what I should do and what I should look at doing, I should just go do it. It's harder to mentor somebody that sits around with analysis paralysis and takes 3 weeks to determine if this is something that they should implement rather than just implementing it because we know from experience that it's just the right thing to do. And like I said, we're not here to tell you what to do, but if you have 8 employees, 15 employees, and you don't have an assistant, the first thing I would say is go get an assistant. I would feel comfortable saying go get an assistant because I know it's going to free up time and it's going to allow you to work on your business more and make more money. There are certain things that a lot of us would probably just say, this is what I would do, and hopefully implying that you would want to do that too. It's harder to mentor somebody who I haven't had a relationship with yet, so they might still be a little bit cautious and cynical of whether or not this tribe is really here to benefit them. But I like mentoring anybody that's going to help them get to the next level. I mean, I mentored Tony. I was on the phone with Tony today earlier. He's a mentor in the tribe, has a $10 million business. Fuck, he's probably worth more money than me now. And I still mentor him because I can share the experiences that I've gone through. And then he listens and he says, thanks, Shawn, I appreciate that. I'll take that into consideration when making my decision. And that feels great that someone respects you enough to listen and to take into consideration what it is you're trying to help with. And they value your experience. I think the day that trust level is gone or the person thinks that they're not going to get anything out of you anymore, even though they still love and respect you, that's the day the relationship ends and you just go separate ways and you find a mentor that's at a higher level or has different levels that can help you in your business or in your life. That's one of the reasons I keep saying that this mentorship group is so special, because how many times you get to talk to a Barney that has taken a company public for $1 billion and had thousands of employees? How often do you get to talk to a guy like Paul Ireton, who's coming in the group and has built hundreds and hundreds of agents in his financial services arena? How often do you get to talk to someone who's like Lisa, who has built several brands, built the #1 selling Fiat car dealership in the country or in the world, broke records, and knows how to build a tribe and build a movement and get people motivated in order to break records. It's so amazing to be able to talk to all of us, and that's why I encourage you to continually going into the event section, and you can ask the same question that you ask me to somebody else. I'm not going to get offended because I want you to get as much information as you need in order to succeed. Hope that answers your question, Nick. All right, that is all of the questions. I went for 50 minutes. These are supposed to be 30 minutes. Tribe members who are watching this, probably not because you guys have AD&D. There's no way you're going to watch a 50-minute video. There should be 32 people in every single one of these events, guys. Get out there. I am not that special. I know I'm the founder of this thing, but I have brought in mentors that have just as much experience as I do and just as much knowledge to share with you. So please go ask questions right now. Go to the events section. Go ask questions to the tribe members that already have scheduled events this week and next week and get that knowledge, all right? I am looking for who is going to be the next Larry Laborsky and B, I hope I said that right, who's going to be the next mentor that used to be a mentee, all right? Now, Larry was already doing millions of dollars before he joined, but he got some mentorship. He's learned a lot about social media, learned a lot about influencers and digital courses, and now he's a mentor. I want some of you to build $1 million companies so that you can be a mentor in this group. Who's with me? You can get the knowledge, trust it, implement it, execute on it, get into the master classes. Like I said, Tom's master class is next on selling. You're crazy if you don't get it. All the master classes are $297. Be ready for it. Tom is going to knock your socks off when it comes to sales. All right? Hope you guys have a great day, morning, night, or evening, wherever you are in the world right now. I'll try to go through the comments and see if there's any extra comments or you guys had extra questions. I'll put my next live stream in for next week, probably tomorrow or Friday. Get out there and get into the live streams, guys. Go ask those questions, and I will see you later. Whew! I feel like I just came off stage when I think I just used the same amount of energy when I played Madison Square Garden when I was 21. Take that to the bank. Peace out.